a.m. For everybody that's up, for everybody that's still sleeping, God bless you because you can do it. A lot, and I say it all to people, just to keep things in perspective, right? Top of the AM, if you're up and moving, that's great. If you're still asleep, that's a benefit. Think about it. No matter where you live, no matter what color you are, no matter what language you speak, listen, if you're alive and you can engage the world and do what you do, that's a blessing. And it comes at a cost. Mind you, I don't see, or I haven't heard, certainly, nobody defending their home with a shotgun or a rifle from invaders or from an invading force, or I haven't seen any foreign enemy or any foreign power paratrooping into this country to take things over. So overall, things are good. Yeah, you may have a bill here, there, problems here, there, complaints here, there, gripes, things of that nature. But overall, if you're up and moving, you're good. And that's just a matter of perspective. And that's just a matter of fact. So a lot of people get these things twisted, and they automatically assume that freedom means, hey, I can complain, and yeah, I mean that's a gift, that's a given, right? But everything comes at a cost, because if you're able to sleep comfortably at night, guess what? There's somebody that is watching your back, be it the local police or county sheriff or county police or state police, or National Guard or reservist, or active duty military. There's so many different layers. FBI, Secret Service, CIA. There's so many different layers of protection that people sometimes forget, man. For you to sit back, overweight, if that's your case, and making a bunch of comments in general about the wildest things, and just being so dead-headed and steadfast, in some cases in stupidity, that you don't look at the basics, man. You got up, and if you got up this morning, or if you're getting up later, and you're able to swing your legs off the bed, focus yourself, stand up, and your equilibrium's good, and you're able to then walk off to your bathroom, use it, get rid of the stuff, because you got a working sewer system, hit your grill and do all the things that you need to do first thing in the morning. Well, all of those things come at a cost, right? So the only thing I'm saying is that, listen, if you're getting all that stuff part and parcel, then do your part. I have a younger sister who just, she makes the wildest comments, and it's like, you're slightly overweight, so you're not starving. You step out your front door, nobody has a sniper rifle with a mark right on your skull, looking to pop your top, right? There's a lot of things that you have going for you. What your problem is that you lack proper perspective, and it's the truth. So it's just a reminder. I'm up early every morning. I work out, get myself something to eat, hit the road. If you hate traffic, get up early. Look, nobody on the road. Nobody. I can get to where I'm going nice and easy. Drink a cup of Rise coffee. And if those are unfamiliar with Rise is a great coffee alternative that is mushroom based. Now, some people say mushroom coffee, ew, the hell? But it's actually pretty smooth and has some pretty key health benefits. So shout to Rise Coffee. But I'm up, so I don't have those issues, those worries, those stressors, top of the AM, right? So it's just a little thing to that I use to keep myself focused, and so I offer it to everyone this morning who's joining me. Now, to get to what I wanted to talk about, I just want to make a statement. All right, I put up a little short that featured this guy, Frank Abagnale, that the movie Catch Me If You Can was loosely based on. All right, Leonardo DiCaprio played this guy that, was essentially a scam artist, right? And this particular scam artist was interviewed by Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was a very popular and famous late night TV show host who had the Tonight Show. So the Tonight Show, Jimmy, damn it, can't remember his name. I always get Kimmel mixed up. My man from SNL. He's a good dude, funny guy. He now has a Tonight Show. Before him, Jay Leno had it. And before him, Johnny Carson started the show. So Johnny Carson featured this guy, Frank Abagnale, as he, recounted his exploits in scamming and things of that sort. And, he regaled Johnny and the guest on that night show with some of the things that he did in the course of his life, and some of the scams that he ran during the course of his life. And he told a story, and I put the short up, was How to Scam a Hooker 101. All right, it was meant in good humor. Yo, a few people got in their feels. Oh my God, how could you laugh at somebody who scams a hooker? Oh, this is terrible. They're sex workers and need to be protected. It started this whole other conversation. Listen, if you notice, for those who really rock with this with the content on this particular channel, is I don't run from anything, and that's just point blank in life in general. You live life, things are gonna come up, you gotta face it. You can't run, hide, get up under your covers, get up under the bed, close your eyes and will it away. None of that stuff works. Some things you have to face. Some people are facing cancer. I can relate to that. And there's different things that are coming up that will serve as a benefit for those who need to have good old sheriff protecting and serving, that need to maybe perhaps have some degree of direction. That's something that one of the things that I set out to do with this particular channel is to inform and give people a helping hand. So with that in mind, I don't dig too deep, man. Listen, if you're out there and if you're a prostitute and you're engaging in prostitution because you got to make a living, you doing what you have to do. Do what you do. You live in a country where you can do that, and there's different choices, right? That come with that. We're not talking about overseas where you have no choice, right? And what I mean by that, go to Cuba, go to the DR, go to different parts of Europe, Africa, where there are women. If you really want to get your heart broken, go get a book called The Johns. For anybody that can hear my voice, Google a book called The Johns. Johns, the in front of it, The Johns. It is a great book. It is a horrifying book, and it will put things in perspective as it pertains to the sex worker trade and everything that is involved with that. That is a great book, right? Hey, yo, what's going on this morning? I'm actually driving, so for anybody that's jumping on and sending some shouts, I'm gonna try to acknowledge you when I get to a red light, but I'm not gonna be one of these people that's on the road with one eye on the phone and one eye on the actual road. No, I'm gonna stay committed to doing the right thing and in that regard. But go and get that book. The Johns is excellent. I mean, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. It really is. So, for people that get overstimulated by what they perceive to be a slight towards somebody, one way or the other, know this about me as an individual. If I want to slight you, I'll just tell you something. I'm the type of person where if somebody's annoying me, I'm gonna tell you you're annoying me. I'm not gonna sit there and just not say anything. I'm a pragmatic dude and blunt, and I feel that sometimes, for example, in medicine, guess what? The blunt reality is a sobering thought. Wakes you right up. Look, if you don't do this, we're gonna have to cut your leg off. You know, there's no dancing around, the obvious. So I'm not going to do that. So, I read through the comments. I don't have at present someone that can filter through. And I've seen some creators that are out there that have staff members, that read the comments and answer real time. And I do that. I pick different times to do it and try to acknowledge everybody's comment, and in some way try to acknowledge your time, because I appreciate, everybody jumping in and rocking with me. However, listen, I'm not an advocate for prostitution, and I'm not going to get into why, right? I also don't oppose prostitution because I can't stop it. It preceded me in this world. It'll be here long after I'm gone, right? With that said, listen, what Frank Abagnale said as a part of that, the overarching context of the story he told, whether it was true or not, I don't know. I don't know that guy, right? I just thought the context was funny. And guess what? I wasn't the only person that laughed. Everybody in the audience at the Johnny Carson show laughed. So some of you tender-hearted people out there, oh, I can't believe you laughed at a guy scamming a sex worker. Okay, well, if you're gonna take that position, guess what? How about all the sex workers that scam guys? How about all the sex workers that do that engage men and then go in and steal their wallets, steal their watches? Listen, there's tons. If you Google it, there's tons of situations where sex workers have gotten arrested for setting people up, robbing them. So come on. It was meant to be in jest. If you're so rectally tight to where you can't see through the mist of the clouds, that it was meant to be in jest. And hey, look, man, take your argument, put it in the pipe, mix in some tobacco in the pipe, and then smoke that joint and get as high as you want. Get as high as a kite. All right, because look, unless you're out there you're out in front of Congress and at the U.S. Capitol championing the cause of the sex worker, then I'm not the person to engage your argument with. All right, listen, it is what it is. There's always going to be strippers. There's always going to be they call them go-go bars, adult entertainment places, sex workers. Irregardless of whether you like it or not, irregardless of whether you find it morally objectionable or not, they're going to be there. That's just how it is. There's a market for it. So, I wanted to address that because there were some people, man, it was kind of tight. Oh, you think it's funny? Well, I do. I thought the story was hilarious. I do. Do I think the circumstances that have women that are forced into the sex trade are funny? No, I don't. I have a mother. I have sisters. I have aunts. It would be crazy to think of any of them, having to service men to survive. So I was one of the fortunate ones that didn't have to live in that way. But there's a lot of kids that are out there that, have their mother telling them probably right now, hey, listen, get up and go in the other room. Because they have no other way to survive. God bless you. And I pray for you. I pray that your circumstances change, because that's a brutal way to have to survive. All right, it's a very brutal way to survive. So with that said, listen, the real topic that I wanted to jump on with everybody about is, for those of you that are music lovers, right? If you love music, right? And I love all types of music. I'll listen to country, rock, acid rock, Mr. Rogers, rap, of course, R&B. Then I'm pretty well balanced and well versed with music in general, right? My question is, what happened to the bridge? Does anybody know what a bridge is? So let me take a quick peek here, see what we got going on. What's going on? Social media has warped peoples. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Give WNBA, I think. WNBA, a shout out. Please forgive me. I'm trying to scan and read this. Well, I tell you what, I shout you out. That person gets a shout out. And please forgive me, it's still kind of dark out. The sun has yet to make its full appearance. And when it does, it's going to be bright and brilliant as it always is. And, I'll be able to peek better. And I haven't encountered a red light, which is pretty extraordinary. Usually, if I had to do something or had to get somewhere, it would be every red light you can imagine would make an appearance. But so far, so good, so smooth. Um, but yeah, the people's idea, their own way of thinking has been suppressed, if you will, by social media and whatever the wave on social media. Whatever direction the wave is going in, people jump right on the wave instead of using their independent, the power of independent thought. And that's a trend. There's a resurgence, or seems, and they call it classic R&B, right? Not classic soul. It's different. Classic soul takes you into the 60s, the 70s. Classic R&B is something 80s up. So figure 80s, 90s would be the classic R&B. And the classic R&B, similar to classic soul, had a lot of bridges. Classic soul had bridges that were long, super long. So I'll give you an example of a song that had some pretty iconic bridges. Any of you that are familiar with the Isley Brothers group, they made a song called "Who's That Lady?" And that's a long song. It's about 8 minutes long. All right. So at its time, "Who's That Lady" was like groundbreaking because nobody made music for 8+ minutes. Seriously, I guarantee you, if you listen to "Who's That Lady" by the Isley Brothers and you're in the car, you'll be driving and then you'll say to yourself, damn, that song is still on? Wow. But it's grooving. It's got an iconic groove. You'll be grooving. And I mean, there's at least 2 bridges in that song that feature Ernie Isley on the guitar, on the electric guitar. And they're pretty amazing, right? But if you compare that to the 80s R&B, where there were more bridges, and bridges were more pronounced and more prevalent, they're totally different, right? So some of you that might be saying, and a lot of you may know what a bridge is, but all a bridge is a break in a musical composition for an instrumental, and it's usually an opportunity for the musician to just do their thing, and it may be 15 seconds, 30 seconds of a song, and then they transition back into the song. And believe it or not, in a lot of classic, iconic 80s and 90s hits, those bridges were phenomenal. Another bridge that comes to mind is any of you that are Jodeci fans, "Forever My Lady" had a bridge at the end where it was basically a synth. It was a synth bridge, about 30 seconds long, and then what they did was they ad-libbed over it. I mean, it was actually awesome. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really see bridges anymore, and people don't really use bridges anymore, and that's a tragedy, right? Because with some of the music that's being produced, a bridge would only enhance its power, right? And that's just my opinion. And like I said earlier, what I've been observing is that there's a lot of 80s. I haven't got a red light yet. This is crazy. Not one red light. Wow. It's going to be a great day, folks. It always is a great day. I'm up, heart's beating. I can see out of my eyes. Know where I am. Can remember yesterday. Can move forward. There's a lot of people waking up and that can't do half those things. So again, perspective. Be grateful for being able to jump on a live and have some feedback. See something here? you like them young. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does you like them? What does that mean? You like them young? What does that mean? You like them young? I don't know. If you're still on and you can give me some context on that, that'd be great. But yeah, bridges and music are great, and I'm curious if anybody is, while I'm able to really peek down, if you have a favorite song and that song has an awesome bridge, throw it up, and I will certainly check it out and encourage everybody else to check it out. And that's anybody that's on here. Think to some of your favorite songs. Like if that song came on the radio right now, I don't listen to the radio, but if you have access to that song through some streaming platform and it happens to come on as a part of a playlist, you stop what you're doing to run over to the radio or run over to your listening platform and turn it up and just vibe out. Anybody have any? Let's see, what is that? Nah. They can keep all that young stuff. And I'll give you an example, just off the topic for a second. So I was in Cuba. It's about, 8-9 years ago. Right? So, of course they got excursions. So you get off, you go on excursions, and, I'm bilingual. So I decided to just walk around. And that was cool. Being able to experience the Cuban culture, not from a book or from a magazine or from what somebody else said and somebody else's rendition of how they perceive things. But I just got an opportunity to get out and walk. And it was cool because they're a prideful people. It's a beautiful country. It really is. And I saw some amazing things, right? And that was during the day. And I mean, obviously there was some things that it's probably a good idea to stay away from in terms of safety. But overall, it was a great experience, right? And shout out to Cuban Americans and shout out to Cuba. It's a great place, a lot of great people. But I did go out later that evening because a lot of cruise employees were going out and they get an opportunity to go out, when they're off duty and go party or whatever. And because they go to these destinations, a lot of them know where things are and they know where to go and what to do and all that cool stuff, right? So what actually ended up happening is I walked around and I kind of just posted up in the downtown area where the National College is. And it was nice. It was a beautiful night, man. People out there. I remember being out with a couple bottles of water, just cooling. And probably within about 5 minutes, a couple of people came by. Hey, what's going on? And they had kids. I mean, I have no problem with being able to distinguish a freaking kid, a 15, 16-year-old, 14-year-old kid. And jokers are walking with them, offering them up. And I mean, there were other women, there were older women as well, and that unfortunately was the situation. And when the cruise ships come in, that's how they get down, right? But one dude in particular just came up and I was like, bro, listen, man, what you do? You hiding her lunchbox? It's a freaking kid, man. Just go ahead, man. I'm good. Because I could feel my blood rising, and it wasn't a good look for me to be in that situation, tussling with some dude in Cuba, over the fact that he's promoting prostitution with an effing minor. And there's a lot of that crap going on in this country, and death to those that do that. And that's a strong statement, but that's what it is. If you are promoting prostitution with a freaking kid, a child who hasn't had the opportunity to be a child or to be a teen, but you're distorting their view and taking advantage, of them being gullible and pushing them into adult situations, they're deaf to you, man. You should be in prison for years. You should be convicted, right? It's a difference. If somebody becomes an adult and they say, listen, I want to be a exotic dancer, and they decided 21, so from 21 to 31, a good 10-year run, they decide they want to be an exotic dancer, so be it. I mean, that wouldn't be my first choice, But if that's somebody else's first choice, that's their first choice, right? But anything that involves crimes against children, I am absolutely, unequivocally opposed to that. And people should be put down. Point blank. Because anybody that's on here that's listening to this live right now, if that was a member of your family and something like that went down, you're gonna be trying to get the person responsible up out of here. So let's not even play no games. We all got aunts and mothers and sisters. Some have daughters. If any of those things happen to any of those women that you care about and love, you're gonna be trying to get the person responsible up out of here. That's your first choice. The legal system gets them most oftentimes first before you get a chance to get at them. But let's not sit here and fake like it's like that component of it is not real or funny, Yeah, I have a holder. So this thing is a float holder. So what you actually are seeing my phone is, unlike people that drive and have their phones and they're brushing their teeth and eating a corn muffin and doing all this other stuff. So the shaking that you see is a component of this thing kind of swaying. It's actually pretty cool, but I don't like mounts. I'm a aesthetic minded person, so mounts and things of that nature, it drives your attention to the mount, and people tend to look at it. If I didn't have this mount, then I usually just put the phone in the seat. But thank you, I appreciate that reminder. And you're right, because driving a 1-ton motor vehicle, if your attention gets diverted even for a moment, it could have tragic consequences. And I'm someone who's married, and my wife was killed 4 years ago in a tragic head-on collision with someone with dementia that shouldn't have been driving, but was out and was driving. The person ended up going in the opposite direction of traffic. They came over a hill. Neither of them survived. So when it comes to things like that, I'm pretty sensitive to that because of that. Originally from the Northeast. I transplanted, served in the military, came back, served the country in a different way now, and just try to be a good man. Not perfect. Not perfect at all, guarantee that, but just try to be balanced and leave the world better than what I found it. Social media is weird. Social media can, going back to that person's comment about it distorting how people think, social media, people can put up fronts. So you could have somebody on social media that seems like they're doing their thing, and in all reality, man, they're living a life of a pauper. Everything's out of control. They got all types of problems going on, but social media for them represents a way to live vicariously. So social media has some power in that regard, and that's not me. I don't believe in that. We got a night crawler. Most of the people that are out driving, they're not. But yeah, that's where I'm from. Yo, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, motherfucker. How about that? You know what I'm saying? There you go. It's my fucking bumper, man. Every now and then you gotta search your position, man. If not, Every now and then you have to assert a position of dominance, or else people will run over you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything extreme. You don't have to put your hands on people or do anything like that. You just have to assert a position of complete dominance. It's necessary because some people are weak-minded, and in their weakness, they actually perceive what they do as being strong, and it's not. They're actually weak. You have to assert dominance. You know, that's part of the military mindset, right? They indoctrinate you to break you out of this habit of me, and make you an us thinker. You know, make you a goal-oriented thinker. You move forward, period. There's no excuses. So what I find is that people oftentimes will do things and they know damn well they're not going to do anything other than have a comment or an opinion or have a position. But when something really jumps off and they have to act, they run to their phones and start filming as if that's going to save them. Never seen a phone save somebody yet. A phone can record what happens to you so that the rest of us can see what they're, oh man, that's crazy. Look what happened to that person with the phone. People that find themselves in situations with people, they record what's happening to you, but their recording doesn't stop. Wait, you're recording? All right, let's just stop what we're doing. Nah, that's not the way it works. So, you know, I don't mess with anybody. That's just a matter of habit. But you establish with people that, you know, listen, if you want to mess with me, that's cool. You get 3 warnings and then you're out. Point blank. So like I said, I don't purport myself to be the world's toughest. I hold my own. Not at all. There's always somebody tougher, right? There's always somebody else way more dangerous. So I don't do any of that. I just live, right? Just like all of you. We're all on here together. Here's something that's a deep thought, right? So YouTube, so figure 2005, there was no YouTube. YouTube wasn't created until, I believe, if my memory is correct, 2007, right? So YouTube starts in its initial trial stages 2007, right? But before that, think about it. Before social media, there were other ways that we can communicate. But flash to the future, here we are, and we're all in a feed early in the morning, tossing ideas back and forth. So the thing that amazes me, that I offer to you all, is that how in an extraordinary time in human history, when we all, let me see how, it's I don't know, over 50 of us that are all on this live right now kicking ideas back and forth. Yo, how could the world be so stupid? Think about it. You can get real-time information, you know, if you needed it. If you don't know it, cool. You know, you could find out. If you don't want to go and get it from a book, at a minimum, you can Google it and find out what actually needs to be done, or the actual weather for that day, etc., etc. So that's what's extraordinary to me, is that sometimes I'll sit back and I'll marvel at the fact that I can get information at my fingertips within seconds that can tell me where I am, where I need to go, how I need to go there, what method I need to go there, how fast I need to go. All of these specific details, and yet people just are so goofy. And this goes back to what that person commented earlier. People have accepted social media to be their thinker. You know, to be the one that their so-called GPS is social media. And everything that comes through social media feeds feeds to that person. And that's a tragedy. But, you know, people find out, they learn. It's like people that overindulge in social media, they learn. Social media is a tool and a resource. That's how I look at it. My generation, we didn't have most of these things. So Unlike them being a convenience for some generations, to me it's a tool, it's a resource. You can utilize it to help you do some things that you need to do. That's how I look at it. And I try to be as realistic as I can when it comes to that, because guess what? If you do that, you kind of keep a healthy way of thinking and a healthy way of seeing things if you keep things in its proper perspective, right? You got a car. Your car has a speedometer that goes up to 140. Does that mean you do 140? Because it says it? Oh, it says 140. Let me do 140 today. Let me see how that works out. Oh. You know, the best course would be to just do something reasonable. You know what I'm saying? Do something reasonable. And if you're able to move reasonably based on that, then that's how you move. But I think that most of the people that are certainly on this feed today are reasonable thinkers. They move reasonably. They think reasonably. You know, I'm a strong proponent of, hey, listen, if you let people tell you who they are before you pick out or put a label on somebody. Let people tell you who they are. They will tell you. So if a person's smart, if a person's not smart, if they're quick to anger, all of these different things, you're gonna find out about it. You don't have to label anybody. And that's the great thing about life. Just give them time. Just give them time. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be able to easily identify who they are and what they're about, and you don't have to even say a word. That's the truth. Hey, listen, question for you. So getting back to this, and you know what? I appreciate that. And that's what this is all about, is learning. And guess what? Don't think that, and we both share learning. We share learning. So you learn from me, I learn from you. That's how it goes. Because guess what? There's some things, and I don't even know you, but I appreciate the fact that we're spending some time here. And I appreciate everybody spending some time with me early on Monday morning. Guess what? All of you have something unique and offer the world. And you can offer something unique to me as well. And guess what? I know that is an absolute truth. So I'm no whiz kid, brainiac, gazillion IQ person. I'm a human being, prone to mistakes, excellent at certain things, super competitive. But guess what? The learning is reciprocal. We give, we receive. We give, we take. And that's the way it should be. Everybody has something good to offer until you prove that you do not. The aforementioned statement I made about people telling you who they are. Believe me, if I walk into a room full of people I don't know, I don't say a word. I don't go in there and say, oh, look, this dude like a-hole, this chick, look, yeah, that's a Karen over there. Oh, she's stupid. But I don't do any of that. I let people start moving and do what they do. And if something is, undisputed, look at this person. Student driver. Okay. New driver. So look, even in that situation, I saw somebody just kind of riding their brakes. In this particular state, they have a sticker that they put on the cars. It says student driver. So that you're aware, like, it's not somebody just doing it. It's somebody that's a new driver. No worries. Let's move around them. But yeah, the learning is reciprocal. So the topic that I really wanted to talk about today, I'll probably revisit in a better way at a different time, because I'm really curious to see how many of you actually have favorite bridges in different songs. I'm really curious to see, what songs they are. For those of you that have songs, I'm really curious to see that and see what songs they are and see what your thoughts are on that topic. But it turns out we had a better topic, right? Things change. The fluidity of life necessitates you being able to be nimble enough to change on a dime, right? So if I were giving a speech somewhere And the speech that I gave led to some statements being made. So I'm giving a speech and somebody's yelling something out. Guess what? I'm not gonna sit there and start, having a meltdown. Shut up! I'm trying to talk about something. You keep interrupting. No, I'm gonna address the person. Hey, what's going on? And guess what? That may change the dynamic of what we're talking about. But guess what? That may have been meant to happen. So that break or that transition into a different topic and into a different direction could be healthy for everybody. So I'm a firm believer in that. I'm not quick to anger, right? If I get angry, that means there's a problem. All right. Once you think of it this way, anger short circuit clear thinking. You get angry, you're not thinking clear. I have yet to meet Jason Bourne yet. That's the only person I know of that I've seen in a cinematic movie. That dude can be angry as hell, and he's able to wire an explosive, hot wire a car, drive calmly while getting chased by 10 police cars. I haven't seen Jason Bourne yet. For everybody else, you tend to not be able to think clearly, and that's not good. All of us, me included, are highly intelligent, independent thinkers. That's what the world needs, and that's what we owe ourselves. We owe that version of ourselves. That's what we owe to ourselves, our God, our families, and the world. The best version every day. You get up in the morning, be the best version of yourself. Don't be don't be the imagery of what social media wants you to be. No, be your own image. Look in the mirror, be happy with what you see. If you got to enhance or, hit your grill or do what you do, and then move, because that's what the world needs. Again, that was the idea behind this particular channel. Yeah, there's 1,000,001 niches out here, and there are 1,000,001 creators that create. And guess what? Yeah, there are better ways to film things, but guess what? Not many people are filming it in the way that I do. And I happen to like it because you can catch something and put it up. Yes, will the equipment and the methodology and the way that the things that are produced and put up, will that improve? Yes, it will. But I'm not a person that says, well, I'm going to wait until I get this before I do that. Nah, get rolling. You understand? So a practical thinker figures out a practical way to do something and then offers it up to everybody else. Right? So a great example of that would be go to a restaurant, and when you look at the menu, you may look at the menu and go, oh my God, what the heck is that? Ooh, escargot. What's escargot? Ugh, I don't want that. You know what I'll do? I'll take these chicken fingers. And that's a perfect example of a practical thinker. You just look on a menu and pick what you like. Pick what appeals to you. Guess what? If 50 people happen to all pick the same things, then that's a great thing. That should hopefully tell the restaurant that they need to order more of that, right? But that's all I'm saying. Let's see here. Whoa, yeah. By Marvin Gaye. Yep. What's that? Thank you all. Y'all, this is wow. I haven't hit one red light. Now, the way I get into DC, there's two ways. I can take the highway. So God forbid if I wake up late, then my penalty is I have to then pay for Easy Pass. That'll get me into DC in like 40 minutes, right? But it costs you like $35. And believe me, the times that I've probably been a little bit tired the night before and went beyond my exit time, I'm kicking myself all the way in. I'm like, this is a $35 ride, right? But it's a good training. It's a good training because you know if I don't want to do that, then you got to get up on time. But I haven't caught not one red light, not one. I don't think I've ever, you know what, maybe I need to do more lives. Obviously there's some type of pattern going here because I have yet to hit one red light. This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you all. I know somebody out there probably has some type of electronic controller, but even if that were true, I doubt that you can control all the lights over the course of 30 miles. But hey, being able to hang out with all of you early in the morning and get your day started is a phenomenal thing. And by the way, the sun is making its appearance. It looks reddish. It's actually absolutely extraordinary. That's another thought that you all can ponder, as I am, is that every day of all of our lives, so there's 44 of us on, right? If we take whatever your age is, if we add all of our ages together, and let's say we came up with 10,000 years, right? Over the course of 10,000 years, the sun has never made an appearance. Never not made an appearance, I'm sorry. So the sun has never not risen, right? And done its appointed job. The moon has always done its appointed job. Now, yeah, you may not have been able to see the sun because of clouds and things of that nature. But my point is that nature does its job. None of us have ever awoken to not being able to breathe because there's no air, right? So all of these things that we know to be have been, and they do their job so that we can all survive. So let's all collectively do our jobs and push ourselves to be a bit better than yesterday. And the way I do that for myself is I look at somebody else that doesn't have the same advantages. So a blind person or somebody that's hearing impaired, or maybe is an amputee, doesn't have the same advantages, but they have to survive also. So I think about them, and that pushes me past my weaknesses. I'm able to see past all of that and move forward. So that's just a tool I use that keeps me in the right state of mind. Because if not, if you let social media or an influencer or some other type of agenda kind of take away your ability to think independently, you have problems. You have real problems. So I just pulled into a mall here. I'm going to stop in and get myself some almond milk. But gives me an opportunity to kind of see. Yeah, the Beltway. Yep. 495, man. 495, 66. They're all crazy in the morning, and people are rushing, and rushing never makes sense to me. I've seen more people probably get badly injured and possibly die on 495 South going into DC from Maryland than I've ever seen in my life any place else. And accidents happen everywhere. But people are just hell bent on, you know, I'm Vin Diesel. I could dip through traffic, and it never works out for them. They turn out to not be Vin Diesel. They be, Vin Number. That's what they end up taking, and they're take from their car when it's wrecked. Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Derek. That's right. And only he has the power to do that. Only he has the power to do that. It's almost like when the fire was commanded to not burn Abraham. Can you imagine that? How am I supposed to get there? It's fire. Don't worry about it. Just go through. I will command the fire not to burn you. So only the divine has the power to do those things, right? Baltimore, great place, man. Baltimore's a great place, man. So it ain't no joke. You're right. And you guess what? You know what's sad? Baltimore is known for many things, right? I'll give you an example. So Javante Davis comes from Baltimore. Angel Reese comes from Baltimore. There's a young lady that now goes to Rutgers. Keomi McMillan comes from that area. There's so many people that come from that area that all we hear about is The Wire. Oh man, The Wire, man, Baltimore, The Wire. And it's like, it gives a depiction that, yeah, you get your head knocked off if you go into Baltimore. Like, you go in there crazy, man. You'll come out in the box. And that's a lot of places that could be said for, you know. But Baltimore wasn't always that way, right? And we can get into the reasons behind blah blah blah. Suffice it to say that Baltimore has great people, right? And I believe that. So I'll never be one that's gonna sit back and just start dogging a zip code just because of crime or other things. Nah, there's good people that live there. Yeah, that's true. Like if you go over by oh my gosh, what's the name of that mall? It's an indoor mall. I can't think of the indoor mall, but it's crazy because years ago I went over there. There's a place inside there where you can get good crab cakes, and I went in there and it was just surrounded by fiends. It was fiends everywhere. It was fiends everywhere, and I found out from a parking attendant that yeah, there's like 4 methadone clinics. So it was like a straight zombie zone, but not too different from any place else. Yeah, Alabama. Alabama's got a rich history, man. Alabama's got a rich history. I have a cousin that's from Alabama, man. Good people. Yeah, but you know what? It's in all fairness, what I oftentimes will say to people that when the word racism comes up is you don't see any Ku Klux Klan members anymore. Remember how back in the 60s you see imagery of the Ku Klux Klan and they're marching in ranks and they got those hoods on, they got those uniforms on. Think of it. You don't see those uniforms, right? Right? But you've never seen the uniforms for sale on eBay. You don't see, hey, use Ku Klux Klan uniform, has some holes, but almost like new. You don't see them because people don't give those things up. Those things are someplace, somewhere. So keep that in mind. So this bust, that breaks the mysticism behind racism being unique to just one area. Nah, it's everywhere. They out here. And it's not just racist towards African Americans. Yo, the racists are out here. There's class racism. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. The place that we live at, it's a good place, but they got some trap doors. So there's a lot of hot button topics and a lot of hot button people running around. But I do agree with you. Now that I get the opportunity to say, Hispanic, yeah, man, and Hispanics catch hell. And when I say Hispanics, I also have to include South Americans. They catch hell, man. The perception is that, they're invading, blah, 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 blah. Look, man, everybody came here from someplace. So whenever if I'm around some knucklehead white person that seems to have this purist ideology, I'm like, dude, listen, you from somewhere. You didn't just pop up. Your people just didn't pop up here and here you are. No. And you're only racist to a certain extent. So I bet you could be racist and say you hate black people, say you hate Spanish people, but guess what? You let a fine black girl or a fine Spanish girl come through, and guess what? They not that racist. You know what I'm saying? You let them come, hey, come here, girl. Oh, I thought you were racist, man. Nah, give me like 5 minutes. I'll be racist in 5 minutes. Let me talk to her first. So it's it's funny, and it's especially true in India. You go to India, you see that a lot because South Asia, India in particular, have some very beautiful women. You go over there, and it's extraordinarily crazy. And I'll leave that for the people who have never gone to India and just say that you need to travel there, and then you'll see what I'm saying. Dominican Republic the same way. Yeah, man. So we got some people on here, man. We got some people on here. And I'm happy, man, because like I said, one of the things I try to do is try to get the conversation going, uh, in some small way, try to break us out of these modes of getting up and, well, this is going to sound kind of crazy and contradictory, but getting out of the mode of grabbing our phones and doing something, but yet here we all are on our phones. So, rock with me on that. But just kind of, getting your thoughts out there. Seeing what you think about certain things, seeing how you feel about certain things. These are all things that are very important to me. And that means a lot. So with that being said, I really encourage everybody to have a great day. All of you, each and every single person that's on here, were born independently. And a certificate, you probably have a certificate somewhere that proves it. That shows that at that particular moment in time, your uniqueness was documented. And because of that documented uniqueness, here you are today, right now, living in a unique way. So as long as you embrace what was documented, you are unstoppable. And you add something key and important to this world of ours that's needed and necessary. So never allow a situation, an ideology, a position, a job, or anything, never allow those things, people around you, to dumb you down. Always accept your brilliance and move your agenda forward. Point blank. Most of you I've never met before. Matter of fact, all of you I've never met. But I feel the uniqueness of each person because we're all here together. We're not all on here talking about how to roll a blunt, or how to rob. No, we're having a conversation. And so I want each and every single one of you to know that I value your conversation, your input, your time. I can't give you your time back. I tell people that all the time. Your time with me is important. And I'm going to honor it because I can't give you a moment back. I can't give you a second back. When it's time to die, I can't barter for you and go, wait a second, I wasted 10 minutes of life. Give me 10 more minutes. I can't. So because of that, I value each of you, and I thank you, and I honor each and every single one of you as being human beings. We're all here in this shared experience moving forward, and I appreciate your time. And continue, man, to watch, like, subscribe, share, and we will push the agenda forward to try to make this place a lot better off than we started. And if you look on this channel, you'll find stuff. I guarantee you're going to find something that's going to make you laugh. Guarantee. I guarantee you're going to find something that's going to make you laugh. And that was the goal. Get people laughing, get you feeling better. It's like you going into a room and somebody breaks the ice, right? And tells a joke. Or if you have a relative that's sick that you really care about and you want them to feel better, you try to get them laughing, right? So, there's a lot of serious things that we have to deal with in life anyway. So, if you can break the ice or be that icebreaker, and be that champion, then do that. And we'll all be better off. Because at some point, I'm not going to be able to walk and move around the way I want to. I'm not going to have the same freedoms that I have today, right now. I'm not. At some point, somebody going to say, hey, Dad, you need to give me them keys, man. You can't drive anymore. And if I'm alive during that time, I'm probably going to be upset because I'm going to feel my independence taken away. But you know what? That day ain't today, and it certainly isn't tomorrow or the day after. So my point is that for all of you, take advantage of your ability to be able to move around, because at some point, you may not be able to move around in the same way. At some point, you may not be able to move around at all. So take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of your independence, your good health, your independent thinking, your means of communication, because you never know what tomorrow holds. So don't waste a moment because you can't get it back. All right? Listen, God bless all of you. Have a fantastic day. Like, comment, share. If you like what I have to say and what I promote and some of the things we talk about, great. If you hate it and you think it sucks, then say that. I can respect that. Listen, some of the cologne I wear, somebody gonna smell it and say, man, that stinks. I know skunks that smell better than you. And some people might love it. So, you know, I'm not so tight that everything has to always be about me. But I can appreciate honesty, things in context, yada, yada, yada. So listen, have a phenomenal day. I'm going to jump back on tomorrow morning and do the same thing about the same time, but only the difference will be it's not going to be a topic. I'm going to open the floor up and we can have a discussion about whatever you want to talk about. So if everybody's rocking with me, it'll be tomorrow morning. It's going to be early. It'll be about 6:15 a.m. And we have a discussion. Maybe I'll have a loose topic, but I'm gonna let y'all drive. And I'm gonna trust your ability to stay within the lanes and stay under the speed limit and all that good stuff. All right, but have a better than great day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Yes, indeed. All right, so God bless everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.